It was a dark and stormy night. We all love a good ghost story or horror film, and these forms of entertainment share some characteristics with the Gothic literature genre, like ghosts, ghouls, and headless spirits that may haunt the main characters. Gothic literature has a long history dating back to the 18th century. Credited as the first Gothic novel and considered one of the founding texts of the genre is Horace Walpole's The Castle of Otranto, published in 1764. It tells the story of Lord Manfred and the family curse that seems to arise when a stone helmet falls on his son and kills him on the day he is to be married. The event seems to awaken a mysterious trend of curses and mishaps that send the characters in the novel into complete disarray. Other famous examples of Gothic literature include The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Dracula. Since the Gothic novel has branched off into numerous subgenres, this lesson will look primarily at the origin of the Gothic in English literature and overview some of the classic texts that created the building blocks for what we know as Gothic today. The term Gothic novel broadly refers to stories that combine elements from horror and romanticism. The Gothic novel often deals with supernatural events, or events occurring in nature that cannot be easily explained or over which man has no control, and it typically follows a plot of suspense and mystery. Here is a list of some common elements found in Gothic novels. Gloomy, decaying setting. Haunted houses or castles with secret passages, trapdoors, and other mysterious architecture. Supernatural beings or monsters. Ghosts, vampires, zombies, giants. Curses or prophecies. Damsels in distress. Heroes. Romance. Intense emotions. We'll look at a few characteristics, the supernatural, madness, and romance in more detail in the following paragraphs, along with classic examples. The Gothic novel arose in part out of the fact that for the English, the late 18th and 19th centuries were a time of great discovery and exploration in the fields of science, religion, and industry. People both revered and questioned the existence of God or a higher power. Gothic novels allowed writers and readers to explore these ideas through the medium of storytelling. Ghosts, death and decay, madness, curses, and so-called things that go bump in the night provided ways to explore fear of the unknown and what control we have as humans over the unknown. Mary Shelley's classic tale Frankenstein, first published in 1818, offers a powerful example of this desire to explore the unknown even as we fear it. Frankenstein's monster is a man-made creation that eerily merges life and death. Frankenstein constructs his creation from human body parts and imbues him with life, which at once gives him great power and a great fear of that power, because he realizes that he's created a being that he cannot entirely control. His fear of his own creation emerges from his recognition that he cannot ever fully understand or control the forces of life and death, despite all of his scientific knowledge. The Gothic can also refer to stories involving strange and troubling events that, while they have logical natural explanations, seem to originate from unexpected forces. Charlotte Bronte employs this element of the Gothic in Jane Eyre, published in 1847. While living in Thornfield Hall as a governess, Jane frequently hears strange noises and laughter coming from the third story of the mansion that no one will explain. And odd things keep happening in the dead of night, such as her master, Mr. Rochester's bed catching fire, and an attack on a guest. Eventually, Jane discovers that all of this is the work of Mr. Rochester's insane wife, who he's hiding in an attic in the third story and who sneaks out at night to cause mayhem. Madness is a common theme in the Gothic novel. While we have greater clinical understanding of the term now, 19th century doctors were only just beginning to really study the condition in depth. Madness in the Gothic novel serves both to create suspense for the reader and to explore aspects of human nature that cannot be easily understood. Mrs. Rochester's mad behavior might be logically explained by her condition, but the mystery surrounding that condition creates elements of fear, danger, and helplessness in the face of the unknown. Another common characteristic of the Gothic novel is romance. The romance in the Gothic novel is usually set against the background of the mysterious circumstances of the plot. Anne Radcliffe's The Mysteries of Udolpho, 1794, is a classic tale of the damsel in distress, trapped in a spooky castle and forced to marry an evil villain until the handsome lover comes to her rescue. Gothic novels explore the power of love not just as a feeling, but a force of nature unto itself. Beautiful because of its ability to draw people together, and terrifying in the actions it compels people to commit for their desires. Love is, in the Gothic novel, almost a supernatural force, unable to be contained by those who experience it. A classic example of the power of love in the Gothic novel can be found in Emily Bronte's 1846 novel, Wuthering Heights. Cathy and Heathcliff, two of the most famous star-crossed lovers next to Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, desire one another so powerfully that nothing, not even death, seems able to keep them apart. When Heathcliff runs away because Cathy decides to marry the rich Edgar Linton rather than stay with Heathcliff and live in poverty, she realizes that she's driven him away and experiences a fit of madness. When she dies, her spirit haunts Wuthering Heights, her girlhood home, where Heathcliff returns to live, and his own mysterious death is suggestively caused in part by Cathy. He's found dead with no apparent marks of violence and no determined cause of death. But he had told the housekeeper, Nellie, that Cathy had been coming to him and he had been dreaming of her. At the end of the novel, the village people swear that the ghosts of Cathy and Heathcliff wander the moors at night. Bronte's novel offers a cautionary tale about the self-destructive power of love and a story about the ability of love to transcend even death. The Gothic novel is a genre associated with the mystery and intrigue surrounding the supernatural and the unknown. Characteristics of the Gothic include death and decay, haunted homes/castles, family curses, madness, powerful love/romance, ghosts, and vampires. The genre is said to have become popular in the late 18th century with the publication of Horace Walpole's novel, The Castle of Otranto, in 1764. Some of the most famous Gothic novels in literature include Anne Radcliffe's The Mysteries of Udolpho, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights, and Bram Stoker's Dracula.